Number 10. Jeff the Killer. Jeff was a little boy recently moving into a new neighborhood with his mom, dad and brother. One day after walking to school, a few bullies came up to them and started to beat up Jeff's brother. Jeff felt the sudden urge that he needed to save his brother. The only problem was, I wasn't in a good way. One of the bullies pulled out a knife and Jeff did the unthinkable by taking the knife from him and stabbed one of them. They got caught and Jeff's brother didn't want Jeff in any trouble, so he blamed himself for the whole thing and was sent away. Later on, Jeff's mom forced him to go to a birthday party for the neighbor's kid. When Jeff got there, the bullies came later with guns threatening everyone. They covered Jeff in bleach and set him on fire. When Jeff was in the hospital, it was shown that the fire made Jeff go completely pale. His mother started crying, but Jeff claimed he was beautiful. It was soon found out that the bullies started that whole fight with Jeff's brother, so he was let go. That night, Jeff's mom walked into the bathroom to see the most terrifying thing a mom could see. Jeff burned his eyelids so he could never sleep, and carved a smile into his mouth so he would never stop smiling. Jeff's mom ran up to tell his father what happened, so he grabbed a shotgun to kill Jeff. It was too late, however, as Jeff murdered them both. Then he walked slowly into his brother's room, woke him up and said these words before ending him. Jeff was never caught. Slenderman is a tall, pale man with no face known to stalk children in the forests. If you go looking for him, don't look directly at his face, or he will take you away and send you to purgatory for the rest of your life. Stories of the Slenderman have surfaced on the internet for almost 10 years. Most of these stories tell the same thing of a white pale man with no face and tentacles stalking them and waiting for the right time to strike. God's Mouth. A couple was searching and wandering until they found this cave with a sign reading God's Mouth. Curious, they decided to search the cave to see if there was anything in, because they like to explore. While exploring, the wife went missing and the man kept searching and searching for her as hard as he could. He even screamed out her name. Knowing it was helpless, he decided to try to get out of the cave. He took every turn and yet, no luck. Knowing he was lost, and alone in the dark, he curled up and waited as God's Mouth had taken another victim. Laughing Jack. A mother and son once lived in a house together with a pet dog. For a few days, the son started acting strange. He would eat candy he shouldn't have had and talk to himself. His mother asked what was going on and he said it was his friend Laughing Jack, who was supposedly a clown who loved to have fun. His mom brushed it off as an imaginary friend, until one day the dog went missing. The mom was searching and searching, until she found something terrifying. The dog was on the ground dead with candy inside of its body. The mom needed to make sure her son was safe, so she put a baby monitor in his room. That night Laughing Jack came and was about to kill the son. The mom went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife and went into his room and saw Laughing Jack. He was pale, black and white clown with sharp teeth. She tried to stab him, but it wasn't no use. He killed the son. Once the cops came, they saw her with a knife and thought it was her. She had gone insane over the Laughing Jack and was sent to a mental institution for a while. The Rake. Much like the Slenderman, the Rake is a creature who is only harmful if you provoke it. One story out of all of the Rake stories stand out from the rest. One night a lady and her husband were laying in bed sleeping. They heard a sound which made them wake up. They awoke to see a tall naked dog-like creature at the foot of their bed, sitting and staring. They didn't want to move or make a sound because they thought it would hurt them. The creature ran quickly into their daughter's room. Quickly, they ran in to see that the creature had murdered their daughter. Slowly, her last words were,
"He is the Rake."
A group of scientists came up with a conclusion telling that if a human had no senses they would be able to communicate with God. They found a man who supposedly had nothing left to live for, so they took all his senses away. He couldn't taste, smell, hear, or see. Just days later the man started going insane to the point where he started pulling his skin off and even trying to kill himself. The scientists strapped him down to keep him sane. The man started naming dead relatives of the scientists until he spoke out these last words.
I've spoken with God. He has abandoned us.
The man collapsed and died. Squidward suicide. An internet at Nickelodeon Studios had the job to review SpongeBob episodes before they aired. The creators would usually troll them with weird titles. So when he saw the card, Squidward suicide, he thought nothing of it. It started off with Squidward practicing for a clarinet concert. Of course SpongeBob and Patrick were messing around outside. Squidward got mad and yelled at them to leave. SpongeBob and Patrick left to Sandy's house. It then switches to Squidward's concert. When he performed, everyone, even SpongeBob and Patrick, were booing him. But the strangest part was, everyone in the crowd had hyper-realistic, blood-red eyes. Squidward cries and runs home. It then switches to Squidward crying on his bed for about 5 minutes. It then flashes an image. When pissed it shows a dead child about 7 years old laying on the ground. It then switches to Squidward with the realistic red eyes and a shotgun. A voice calls out "DOIT." Squidward puts the gun to his head and shoots himself. The episode ends. An investigation of the tape was made and concluded that the tape was made just moments before the showing of the tape to the interns. The creator of the tape was never found.